You guys can probably hear Alfie chilling out in the background there, but welcome this evening. We are so glad that you are able to join us this evening for this month's installment of Mumentum. It means the absolute world to Jess and I that you can be on the call tonight. We're going to have a couple of amazing mums on the call with us tonight sharing their stories, as well as both Jess and I, who are hosting this evening. But just before we get into everything, I just need to go through a couple of disclaimers. So the statements that are appearing in this presentation this evening have not been evaluated by the Therapeutic Goods Administration, and these products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, and weight loss should not be considered typical. You're going to hear some stories of some weight loss in here, and just know that it is a direct reflection upon the effort and how well the individual has used the system according to the guide. Also, if you are pregnant, nursing, diabetic, or on medication, have a medical condition or are beginning a weight control program, please consult your doctor before using the products. And also, as a disclaimer, earning levels for Isagenix independent associates that appear in this publication should not be construed as typical or average. So I'm just going to share with you guys why I'm here. And for me, my journey started 3 years ago. I was actually a broke and unhappy uni student studying a bachelor's degree in music. So for me, my health was of like high importance, even though it really wasn't where it should be. It got to the point where I was so sick all the time, I actually had to defer my major for 6 months. And going through that made me realize that I really need to change something. So I was introduced to this amazing system, Isagenix, 3 years ago by my gorgeous now fiance, Jess, and his mum, who's also on the call, so thank you. And as a result of filling my body with what it needs, I was able to drop 2 dress sizes in my first 90 days, gained huge amounts of energy, and was able to sleep through the night really well. And also, I was able to use a lot of this system to help fuel myself through a very difficult pregnancy. As you can probably hear my distressed toddler in the background, but you know, this call is all about mums, so you guys would all be used to this by now. So I'm just super passionate about helping to educate young women, especially young mums, how to take full ownership of their life physically, financially, mentally, and spiritually, live a life of fun and freedom and contribution, and just really get back to the root of who they truly are. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing a great friend of mine who is also co-hosting this call with me this evening. That would be Jess. So Jess, would you like to share your story?
Awesome, thank you. Bloody hell, Ash, you've got such an inspiring story. I love hearing it every time. Cool, so yeah, like Ash said, you know, I'm sort of part of Isagenix, and we've been friends and met each other through this awesome community some years ago. And before Isagenix, I was, you know, not in a very great place with my health. You can see my before and after photo there. I just, yeah, like had put on a bit of weight and couldn't really shift it. But beyond anything, it was the energy. So I was really relying on caffeine, you know, for my energy every day, which is not the way that you should be living your life, having 3 cups of coffee a day to get through it. And so I was lucky enough to be introduced by a good friend of mine, Christy, who I used to work with, and I lost 8 kilos, which was awesome. But the big thing for me is actually keeping it off. So it's one thing to lose weight and, you know, I gained oodles of energy. I don't need coffee anymore. I have it once or twice a week because I like the taste. But, you know, I'm not relying on it anymore, which was huge for me. But the thing with weight loss is, and any results really that you get with Isagenix that and your whole transformation is, it's one thing to get them after 30 days, amazing, but it's another thing to actually, maintain that. And I've been using this system for over 3 years throughout, my whole conception journey, which was about a year. I ended up doing IVF as well. Through my pregnancy to date, it's really helped to nourish my body, and I'm 7 months pregnant now. I'll keep using the system, just, tweaked in all of those different journeys when I have the bub as well. So I'm really, really passionate about, firstly, same with Ash, like helping mums, but secondly, this is a lifestyle. So it's 365 days a year. I've got a separate project called Project 365, which really is emphasizing that. And it's all about you guys like just feeling epic and getting awesome results, but continuing on that for the rest of your life. Because, like anyone can drop weight in a multiple of fashions, but it's another thing, keeping it off, keeping yourself feeling amazing, and, really creating a lifestyle and epic amounts of freedoms with this long term. So I'm looking forward to sharing a lot of how you go about doing that and creating that life for yourself tonight. So I think we need the next slide, Ash. Next up, we have the beautiful Charlotte Owens, who is, I think she's on now. I'm not too sure. Let's double check. We might have to come back to Charlotte because I'm not sure if she's on yet. No, I don't think she is. Okay, that's cool. Next up, we might introduce the incredible Dani Catania. So I am just so honoured the fact that I get to introduce this lovely lady. So
she says that she's
for those of you who aren't familiar with Dani, she is a beautiful new mum. She has a Bachelor of Nutrition and Dietetics, and she is a sports dietitian. She's recently worked with athletes such as the gold medalist Jana Pittman, who I'm sure you guys have heard of. So Dani, thank you so much for joining the call. I know you've got a new one, and I know it's coming up to feeding time, so let's get straight into it. So obviously you've got an epic background in nutrition. You've got so much experience. I'm just going to firstly address the elephant in the room, given that you're a professional and you've got that background. Surely you were a skeptic when you started. What made you try Isagenix?
Oh, Jess, thank you. And thank you so much for having me on. And you're right. I was really skeptical before I started with Isagenix. Basically, about 4 years ago, I was working, as you said, with Jana Pittman. She was using the products. At the time, she was hurdling, so her goal was to keep, really lean and still obviously well nourished. And I really saw a big difference. And the reason I took a look at Isagenix was because I hadn't heard of it and I needed to just do my homework, but also because I'd seen such an incredible change in her, and just her mood was better, her results were more consistent, she was training the best that she ever had. And so I took a look. Fast forward the story, I guess, I was approached by Isagenix to work as a consultant first, and so I really liked the food products of Isagenix. So I really loved the shake, I loved the bars, I loved the because they were just really super dense superfoods, if you like, very nourishing. But I had to do a little bit of homework around the naturopathic and some of the herbal element of Isagenix. And I've when I kind of got my head around what it was, it really, to me, it jumped out as being, it was like seeing, it was like having a dietitian, a naturopath, and a Chinese herbalist all in the same box, and that just arrived on your doorstep, and just made it really simple to have just the best of all of the worlds combined in a really simple, tasty, food system. I think the turning point, though, for me was I was very happy up until that point. I was very happy recommending the products, and as I did as a as a dietitian, I would look at, I still do this. Like I would look at a product and I think this would be good for this person, or this would be good for this type of person. So I looked at isogenics the same way. I never actually thought that I would get some benefit from it. But I'd just gotten married in January of 2013. I'd put on a few, happy kilos in Vietnam because I ate for Africa there. Any excuse to try all the food. I came back feeling heavy, and I remember being at Celebration in March in 2000, like 2 months later, basically. And I remember thinking, gosh, everyone they look vibrant, they look healthy, they're glowing, which I now know as the Isoglow, and they just look really well. They look incredible. Why have I been so up myself and haven't given this a proper shot for my own health? And so that was the turning point, and I haven't looked back. So like you said, I just passed my 4-year anniversary, and as you said, I've used isogenics through my pregnancy and through nourishing my body, and obviously a modified plan, and here we are today, and I'm fully breastfeeding a beautiful little girl who's nearly 5 months next week.
We can't hear you, Jess.
Sounds like your microphone might have dropped out.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay. So I was just saying thank you so much for that. It's awesome hearing from, a health professional, and I always find it really intriguing to hear, your point of view as well on this, on isogenics. So apart from obviously having your own physical transformation and physical journey, what else has changed for you since you've started isogenics?
Well, I think a couple of things, Jess. I think my attitude to my approach to nutrition, I'm much more open-minded about just the way different nutrition realms kind of approach nutrition. But I think also from a financial standpoint. So what happened, was I wasn't telling a soul when I started isogenics, and I dragged my husband into it. I said, if it's good enough for Yana, we're doing this too. And like, that wasn't a question, it was, you're doing this. And so he was a saint and joined me in our first 30 days, and we both had incredible health results. But I felt like I was a closet user, meaning I didn't want to tell a soul that I was having these, smoothies, and I was really loving it. But the results started to really become apparent. And within a couple of weeks, I had people asking me. And so what happened was I came out, and so to speak, and shared the secret. So actually, guys, there's a really bad. Oh, there we go. Perfect. There was a really bad reverb there. So basically, I started to share, and of course, we get financially compensated for that. And it just became kind of, it started off as kind of an organic extra stream of income for us. And then I started to recognize the fact that, at that time, freshly married, I knew that we wanted to have kids. I have a 16-year-old stepson who was 13 back then, and I really wanted to be at home for my family and for the future children that we'd have. And so I thought, well, gosh, I started to earn like a couple of $100, from sharing, like each week. And I thought, wow, imagine if I actually had a good crack at this. And at the same time, I was getting some kickback from my from the kind of traditional sports nutrition world. And so I just thought, you know what, I'm really not enjoying what I'm doing. I'm loving isogenics. I'm loving seeing the results that I was getting. I'd studied for 8 years at that point, and I in my traditional practice, I wasn't seeing as good as results as what isogenics was delivering. And so I made the literally cannonballed in. And as a result, I've been able to work from home. As per my plan, I've been able to be at home with our little girl, and I've really not done a whole lot. I've just really enjoyed the time with her. Took myself off Facebook for a whole, I think it was maybe like close to 2.5 months, and we still had a beautiful, I think because of the work that I did prior, and the team that we've supported, they've really carried the baton, and I've been enjoying a paycheck that's allowed me to enjoy the time with this little being. So I'm very, very grateful for what Isogenics has allowed us to do.
That's so awesome, and that is such a big part of Isogenics as well. Is obviously it's fantastic with the physical journey and everything health-wise, but being able to stay at home with your kids and having that that option. I mean, it's the same with me. Like, I am just so looking forward to leaving on maternity leave and not having to ever go back. Which is happening on the 18th of May, people. I am counting down. But it's amazing that we get to do this. Like, it's such a gift to be able to give that to people. So, yeah, that's awesome. Your story is so inspiring. One last question. What would be your biggest advice as a new mum yourself? And we've got other expectant mums on here. What is your biggest piece of advice for new mums in terms of nutrition or health or anything like that?
Yeah, I just think really taking the time to nourish your body, and I think Isogenics makes it really convenient. It's not the only solution, but I think it's really the best one that we have, one of the best that we have available to us throughout my pregnancy. And I'm sure you're the same, Jess, and congratulations. I didn't know you were 7 months in, so just wait till your heart explodes in a few months. But I was really consistent. I had one smoothie at least every day, sometimes two. I really think that we've got such an incredibly strong baby, and I've got a really great breast milk supply. And I'm not saying that that solely Isogenics is responsible for that, but I definitely think taking the time out to nourish and making good choices with nutrient dense foods such as an isoline shake is a really great part. And it's just like I can throw it together really quick, and in 30 seconds I've got a really thick, creamy, delicious ice cream like smoothie, which I wake up in the morning and that's what I'm thinking about having. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I think that's probably number one. Number two is I hear a lot of people talking about baby weight, and I really want to kind of honor that, because I think our body does an amazing thing, like growing new life and then nourishing it at least for the first 12 months, potentially longer if you're choosing to exclusively breastfeed and able to. And I really think that we really need to respect our bodies, and I feel like how I'm choosing to use the products is really to give it back what it's so generously given to my baby girl. So I really think number two, yes, step into that space of nourishing, not sort of punishing. Didn't mean that it's actually sounded really good, so you can take that. And number three would be just, I think, really, if you're an expectant mom or looking at this, I think this is a perfect time to take a look, especially from a financial standpoint, because the work that you may be able to do now may pay itself off, when at the time when you need it most. Enjoy this, the miracle of what you've been able to do.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dani. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everyone on this call really appreciates your time, particularly given your little bundle of joy is, I know you mentioned, probably waiting for a feed right now. So, and look,
I've got my husband here who's helping me out. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, and thank you for having me on. It's just such a pleasure, and and good luck. Good luck in 2 months.
Thank you. Need all the luck that I can get. So yes.
No, you know what? Your body will do this. It's the strongest body you'll ever know.
Oh, amazing.
Thanks, Dani.
Thank you so much, Dani.
Bye, everyone.
Now, I just want to see if Charlotte is on. Are you still on, Charlotte? Charlotte?
I don't think so.
She said she's
I can't
on.
see her on. No.
She said that she's on, but she can't hear anything. That's all right. We'll just keep moving on.
I don't think so. I don't think she's on.
No, that's all right. Well, we'll just keep going. So Isogenics has a vision, and their vision is to impact world health and free people from physical and financial pain, and in the process create the largest health and wellness company in the world. Now, I think that is massive because they're really trying to go head to head with the big companies like Johnson and Johnson and like Nestle and all that. So that's a big, big vision for them to uphold, and they really are working towards that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we also, our range, which we'll go into, there's a huge range. We can't go through everything tonight, but we're just going to go through the core specific ones that are going to be useful for mums. But really, really important to note that they are free of artificial flavors, colors, and sweeteners, which I think is, I'm sure a lot of new mums probably share this sentiment. You want to know that what you're putting into your body is really nourishing it, and that's it. Like, there's no nasties, there's no terrible chemicals or fake additives in there as well. So beautiful range that's all based on nature. So we'll go into a few of the specifics now.
Yeah, and you can find amazing information on what is safe for pregnant and breastfeeding mums at isogenicshealth.net. All you have to do is you just go to the search bar and put in pregnant and breastfeeding, and this article that's on the left will pop up, and it will show you all of the products that are safe for pregnant and breastfeeding. It is recommended that you take the system to your doctor or your midwives or whoever is looking after you through your pregnancy to have the products okayed. As I said at the beginning, it's really important that you do consult your doctor and you keep them in on your nutrition journey. There is also an amazing podcast that is available in our group that we have on Facebook. If you want to be a part of that, please let Jess or I know. And that's all about fertility, conceiving, breastfeeding, and pregnancy, and nutrition, and isogenics. So it's a fantastic podcast. It's one of my favorites when I'm talking to women. So yeah, just let Jess or I know if you would like to listen on that one.
Yeah, so one of the main products, which we'll go into, but there is a whole range, are the shakes. So Dani touched on this, just how damn convenient they are when you're time poor. Even, when I'm flat chat at work, they're just great. 30 seconds, whipped up, lunch. I know I've got the perfect balance of good fats, carbs, and protein. So it's a 30-30-40 breakdown. And all of the nutrition, essential micronutrients. My arm's going off here. And fiber, prebiotics, probiotics, just incredible. It's got here, on the little picture on the left, exactly what's in each shake. So fantastic, while you're trying to conceive, while you're pregnant, while you're breastfeeding, you can give these to your kids. I'm sure Ash probably knows what age. Is it two that you can share the shake with your child?
Yeah, so a full serve of the shake is at the age of 4, but you can start giving them half shakes at the age of 2. I already give Alfie some because he just steals it, so he loves it so much. Yeah,
amazing. Which, to me, I just think that's brilliant, because that your kid is having something where they think they're having a milkshake, a naughty, delicious chocolate milkshake, but really they're getting all the nutrition they need. So a few key points before we move on this is just that it is so damn delicious. They taste really good. they have, it says here, 24 grams of high quality protein, and that is, not an exaggeration. They go to the largest lengths in life to try and get the best quality protein. So they actually get whey protein from New Zealand grass-fed cows that are not fed antibiotics or hormones or anything. They have really strict guidelines over there with their dairy. And, everything that you'll find, like I mentioned before, in the shakes are natural as well. So really fantastic product to have in your cupboard for those times, but also just to make sure that every day you're getting everything that you need in the shake. So Ash, I'll hand it over to you. I'm sure you probably have a few key favourite things about the shake.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I remember when I first had Alfie, I spent so long confined to the couch that it was just a lot easier to just have a shake instead of trying to prepare a meal. And not only that, like now, because I'm gluten and lactose intolerant, so for me, I use the dairy-free shakes a lot. I also make pancakes out of the shakes on days where Alfie's refusing to eat food.
Yeah.
I actually have, funnily enough, some pancakes next to me on a plate. Yeah, it's one of my core products that I use in my everyday life. And not only that, the amazing thing about the products is that the company stands by their systems, and they do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not happy with with what you're experiencing with the products, you can send it back within your first 30 days and they'll give you a refund, obviously minus the shipping. So they're very high integrity and very much stand by their products. Now, these systems have recently been updated, so you can talk to the person who got you onto this webinar about what systems are available out there and what's the best for you.
Yeah, awesome. And just before we move on, just with the systems, there are some other incredible products, and your body is a system, so it makes sense to feed it through a system as well and have certain things that talk to each other and address different areas as well. So isogenics, obviously, one of the biggest things is just plugging all of those gaps in your diet and making sure that your body is getting everything that it needs on a daily basis. When you're not pregnant or breastfeeding, you do the cleansing side of isogenics, which is, helping to cleanse toxicity out of your body. So there are a multitude of systems that you can start on. But yeah, we've just, as I said, only touched on one specific product that is one of the core pillars. But basically the whole premise is flooding your body with nutrition and really helping it to cleanse out impurities. So in terms of your products and pricing and whatnot, there's different packs to fit different budgets. So it's up to you, to again talk to whoever invited you on this call and let them know what your goals are and what your budget is, and in particular what you usually spend on food and groceries per week, and you can basically just sub that out and match a pack. But the great thing is, Dani touched on and Ash and I slightly, the fact that you can do this as a business as well. So Isogenics makes it really easy for you to get a rebate on your product. So if you have a couple of people you want to start with who might have goals similar to you, and you want to jump on board and do, perhaps your first 30 days together, you'll get $370 back in your pocket just for starting with them, which is pretty cool. So that's just how it starts, and most people do like to do it with other people because it helps hold them accountable. But basically, if you continue to share and you continue to help people get good results, I mean, tell a woman that just lost 10 kilos to not tell someone. That's what we do. We word of mouth, we share with our friends and family when something is going great in our life. That's how you can really make residual income, and that's how you can, start to have a lot more time freedom, a lot more financial freedom, and build up a legacy for your family, and work from home, do what Ash and I are doing and really, you know, look into this as something potentially as a mother that you can do either part-time, full-time, or to really take it to the next level like Dani has as well. So that's kind of a little bit of an explanation about the business, but if you are interested, we can send you a bit more information after this.
Yeah, so ultimately this is just a question that we want to leave you guys with. Are you ready to redefine your normal? Like, we all have this idea of what is the norm for ourselves, and then we also have the norm that society tries to put onto us, and then we also have someone else's norm where we look at and it could be completely different to what we're used to. So a lot of the information that you've heard tonight may have challenged a few beliefs of yours, which is totally normal. I went through that when I first got started. So yeah, I just really want to leave this with you. Are you ready to redefine your normal? And thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. We really, really appreciate it. So we just.
Woo! Thanks, guys.